Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this drop-in session on submitting contested financial remedy applications using MyHMCTS. Thank you for joining us. Just to let you know that this session is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel in the next couple of days, and that we have a Q&A option on the screen, so feel free to drop us any questions as you see fit. Just to also let you know that we'll be dropping in a survey at the end of the session, so please do fill that in and let us know your feedback. This session is going to be led by Isabel Syred, and we also have Jessica Newton and Mark Saliki here, who will both be on board to answer your questions. But in the meantime, over to Isabel to introduce the session to you.
Thanks very much, Kim. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Izzy Syred. I'm the Service Manager for Divorce and for Financial Remedy. What we're here to do is I think it's our third webinar now, where we're going to show you a few videos of the FR contested service and just give you a little bit of background really as to where we are and looking ahead towards mandation on the 31st of January. So the FR contested service, digital service, went live as a pilot a couple of years ago, and we're now live in all of the 18 financial remedy courts that are around the regions. We now have an end-to-end digital service. We have a digital uptake of that service of around 80 to 90%, and litigants in person actually file their applications on paper, and then we enter it onto the digital system so they can benefit from the outputs from the digital system. We have introduced quite a lot of improvements to try and get us to this stage of the digital product. We've introduced a notice of change, so that ability to change the representation on a case, ability to share a case, so a solicitor can share a case with their colleagues. We've extended the service as well to judicial separation, nullity and civil partnership applications, and we've also can accept maintenance pending suit as well. We've also added variation orders to the service and also provided barrister access last year. I think we went live with that in the November, and then we've had Schedule 1 applications as the latest release, which was on December the 16th. So a lot of improvements there. And it's good to see that all these applications are starting to be used and, you know, this functionality. We will, over the next few months, be looking at introducing the ability to support interveners. And we'll also be responding to feedback, as we're always doing, to try and improve the service even more. So things around general applications, signposting and the guidance, etc. So that's what we'll be planning to do over the next few months, and hopefully we'll get some feedback from yourselves as well on this session, like we have with the others. We're now going to go over to one of the videos, which will be the video on, and just make sure I get this right, is barrister access. So we're going to do a demo of the barrister access and then take any questions after that. So thank you very much. I'll hand over to the videos.
When a barrister is instructed on a case, the solicitor is able to add the barrister onto the case. Once added on, the barrister is able to access the case files and will also be able to lodge any documents or orders following a hearing. If the barrister is instructed directly by the client, who is a litigant in person, the barrister has to notify the local financial remedy centre, who are then able to add the barrister onto the case for them to be able to access the case files. In order for the instructing solicitor to add the barrister onto the case, the solicitor would select the option Manage Barristers from the Next Steps drop-down list. Click Go. Select which party that the change applies to. Is it the applicant or the respondent? And then select Add New to add the new barrister information. So type in the barrister's name and email address. There's a phone number field also available, but this is optional. so you don't have to enter that information. You can then search for the barrister organization or chambers. You can either search by the chamber name or by searching under the address by the postcode. If you search by the postcode, it comes up with a much more compact search result, so that it comes up with any chambers within that postcode area. If you search by the chamber name, you have a much larger search result, as the system looks for any chambers with the same name or any similar names. So once you've identified the correct chambers, click select to add that chambers to the case, then click continue. And then that information will be repeated to you, so you can double check that information is accurate before you proceed. If you need to make any changes, there's an option on the right hand side there. You select change and you can update any of that information. Otherwise, click submit to finalize your selection. And the barrister will be added to the case. If we go into the respondent tab, we can see that the barrister is now displaying there under the respondent. So the barrister has now been added to the case, and the barrister will be able to access the case file. The barrister will receive email notification advising them that they have been added to the case, and the barrister will be able to access the case from that email. So if we open that, we can see there's an email notification there, and also included within that is a link to the case. So once the barrister has been added to the case, that case will automatically appear in the barrister's case list, but it can also be accessed via this email here. So if we click on that, then we'll be asked to sign in. Hide the messages. We can see that the barrister is now able to access the case. So I can check the respondent information there, and I can also access the respondent documents and any shared documents, and the hearing bundle tab. So the barrister is able to access all the relevant information on the case file. The barrister is also able to upload any documents. So if we look at the next steps drop down, we can see the barrister has a function at upload case files, upload a draft order, creating applications, general applications, or uploading any hearing bundles. So we can see those functions are available to the barrister. We will upload a draft order just to confirm that that option is definitely available to that barrister. And we can see that the case has moved into that review order state, so that order has been uploaded successfully to the case. So we have confirmation that the barrister is able to access the case file and is able to take necessary actions to progress their case. So once the hearing has taken place, the orders have been approved. If the barrister is no longer instructed on the case, the instructing solicitor or the caseworker in direct access case is able to remove the barrister from that case. So we can go through that process. So the barrister would again, the solicitor would again select manage barrister from the drop-down list. In selecting the relevant party that we wish to update. This will bring up the existing barrister information. This can be removed by selecting the remove option, which comes up with a reminder just asking if you are sure you want to proceed with the removal. Click remove, then select continue. We can see that that information is no longer displaying there. So if you're happy with the selection, click submit to finalize the removal. And then if we check in the respondent tab again, we can see that the barrister information is now blank, so the barrister is no longer able to access that case. If we check again in the barrister's login, if I refresh my screen or if I try to take any action on that case, the barrister will be kicked out of that case because they no longer have access to that case. As we can see there, that barrister has been removed. The barrister will also receive email notification advising them that they have been removed from the case. We can see confirmation there advising the barrister that they can no longer access that case. So that is how you add and remove barrister access onto contested financial remedy cases.
Okay, I think we don't have too many questions at this stage. We can come back to a couple that have come through, but maybe we could just jump straight to the next video, Aaron.
Create a new application, select Create Case. Select the relevant jurisdiction from the drop-down list, which would be family divorce. Select the case type as contested financial remedy, and the event will be auto-filled for you there as Form A application. Click Start to commence the application. You'll be presented with the scope page there, so have a thorough read of that. That gives directions on what's covered under that application and what requirements are required before you can make that application. So have a read of that. If you're happy with the content of that, click Continue. You can then start by entering the applicant solicitor's details. So enter the solicitor's name, and then add the solicitor organization. So the solicitor organization has to be added by searching for the organization on the list there. If the solicitor is not selected or added from the list, the solicitor will not be able to access the case on the portal. So it's very important that this part of the process is not skipped. You can add the solicitor by either searching for the solicitor name or by searching by postcode. It is easier to search by postcode because it only brings up the solicitor organizations within that postcode. If you search by solicitor name, it brings up a larger search result because it looks for any solicitor name, any solicitor with a similar name. So as I said before, it's much easier to search by postcode. It only brings up the solicitors within that postcode area. So once you found your organization on the list, on the right hand side there, click on Select to add the organization to the case. If you only have one result that comes up, you still have to select, click Select to actively add that organization to the portal. So you click on that, and that solicitor will be added to that case, and then complete the rest of the information underneath there. Solicitor's details and references. There's a separate tab there about solicitor's contact details. Again, if this information matches exactly what's already been uploaded up there, still put that information in. If this information differs, where an organization might have multiple offices, the main or head office might be registered with MyHMCTS, which will be shown there. If you're working from a local office, which is different from the office that's registered, you can input that address there. So there's a correct address there for service. Enter your phone number there and the email address. Take extra care to make sure that the email address entered is correct and there's no spelling errors, as all notifications from the portal will be sent to you by email to the email address you provide. So if the email address provided is incorrect, you won't receive those notifications. Then there's a question there asking if you consent to receive emails from the court, so select yes to that. If you select no, notifications will not be sent by email. Click continue to go to the next page. You can enter the divorce or dissolution details. So the portal now accepts divorce, dissolution, so nullity, judicial separation, case numbers are all accepted. You can also use either the 10-digit alphanumeric case number or 16-digit CCD case number. So all those options are now accommodated for on the portal. Enter your case number. You'll be asked whether the FR case relates to a dissolution of a civil partnership. Again, select yes or no to that question. If you select yes, the order output will be updated to reflect the Civil Partnership Act and not the Matrimonial Clauses Act. So just make sure you take the right option there. Enter the date of marriage or civil partnership. The date of separation is optional, and then enter the date the application was issued. The name of the court where the divorce application was issued, and at what stage the application is reached. So if we click on the drop-down list, there's three options there: application issued, final order, or decree nice size, so select the relevant option from the list there. Take into account the new naming list, naming convention, which is for under the no divorce law. So we now have the petition referred to as application, the decree nice is now called a conditional order, and the decree absolute is a final order. So if we select application issued, you can then upload a copy of that application as evidence. The same thing if you selected conditional order or final order, you have to upload a copy of that order to the portal. Enter the parties' names. You'll be asked if the respondent is represented or not. So if they are not represented, you select no. You can enter their address for service there. If they are represented, select yes, and you can add the solicitor to the case. Again, making sure that you select the solicitor from the organization list, do the search, click select to add the solicitor to the case. Enter the reference if you have one. Solicitor name. And then the solicitor firm. And again, as we said with the applicant solicitor, you have to add the address in there twice, just in case this does differ from the office that's been registered. So select the relevant address there and enter the email address. Again, making sure that there's no spelling or typing errors within that email address. Once you're happy with that, click continue and select the nature of application. You then be asked whether the application is suitable to be dealt with under the fast track. So select yes or no. If you select yes, you can then select which of those options apply. Otherwise, you can select no and continue. You'll be asked whether the application should be allocated to the complexity list. Again, select the relevant answers to you there, yes or no, or if you're not sure, say you don't know. And then the estimate of the assets in the case. So select the relevant option there. And then the net value of the home. So put again the amount in there. You then be asked whether there are any potential allegations or issues which may arise in the case. So there's a list of options to select from there. If you're not sure, you can select not applicable. Otherwise, select one of those options listed on that list. You can then choose the financial remedy to which you wish to make the application. So what's your nearest court? And then there's more information there required just in terms of attending the hearing. Is there any special measures required in a case? Any special facilities required for either parties? You can put that information in there. And also, if there's any reason why the hearing should not take place at a specific court, you can then, there's an opportunity for you to enter those reasons there. Otherwise, you can select no and continue. You then be asked to enter the MyHM information. So if you've attended MyHM, you'd select yes. Continue, you can enter your MyHM information there. If you haven't attended MyHM, you select no. You'd be asked if the applicant's claiming exemption. If you select no and try to continue, you won't be able to continue. So if you select yes, you then be asked another question asking whether the applicant, family mediator has informed the applicant that a mediator's exemption applies. So yes or no to that question, and then you can continue. So if we go back and say yes, again, you'd enter your details in there. You then be asked if you have any other documents you wish to upload to the portal. So if you select yes, we can then select add new to upload any other documents. So choose file. Select the document type. So if you're uploading an application questionnaire, and statement in support of MPS. If you wish to make a maintenance spending suit application, you also need to upload a D11 together with the application. So as well as uploading a statement in support, you'd also upload a D11. Just to show that you do intend to apply to proceed with applying for a maintenance spending suit. Click continue. You'll be shown your FRC information there. If you wish to contact the FRC, click continue, and then all your answers will be played back to you. So at that point, you can review your answers, make sure you've entered all the correct information. If you're happy with all the information that's been entered there, click submit, and the application will be submitted.
Okay, so we're going to take a few questions now before we move on to the next set of videos. So we've had a few questions around barrister access and how barristers begin to use the portal. One person's asked, what if barristers' chambers have not logged their details onto the portal? So perhaps, Jess, you could just remind us of what barristers need to do.
Yeah, so there is the requirement for barristers to be registered with MyHMCTS before they can get access to the portal. So they will need to have done that for either solicitors or court admin to be able to add them if they've been added for an individual party and not through a solicitor. So that's just the requirement. They need that access to be able to access the CCD system. But once they're registered, it should be a relatively smooth process in either the solicitor adding them to give them access, or, as I've just mentioned, if they're coming on record for someone who's instructed them directly, they would need to let the court know that so that they could be added to the case. Yeah, so I think that answers that query.
We've had a slightly different one around about one person's firm. They've tried to add them to the portal via a notice of change tab, but that's not worked. Could you maybe provide some advice, please?
Yeah, so there isn't any problem that we're aware of with the notice of change, but there is a regular problem that occurs if people aren't using the financial remedy case number or the exact name that's been used on the portal. So it could be that's flagging an error. So I would just suggest to check that using the financial remedy case number and not the divorce number. And if you are, please do just get in touch with us because we'd want to investigate what the problem was there, because as I say, it should be smooth running really. And you can email us at the HMCTS financial remedy email box, but if we'll share that after the event anyway to let you know who to contact. But yeah, that would be the first part of call. Check that the case number's right, check that the names are right, and if those are correct, we'll need to investigate further with the tech team. But
that's really helpful, Jess. Thank you. We've had a few comments from people asking about the video. So just to remind everybody, the session's being recorded and each of the individual videos that are being shown this afternoon are available to watch on our YouTube channel. We'll also send out a wrap-up email after the session, and that will all have links to the videos as well. So don't worry if you can't see the text or if there's bits that you've missed. I think we'll just take one more question before we move on to the next video, if that's okay. And someone's asked if it's possible to add a solicitor onto a case after it's been issued, and if not, will that feature be added soon?
Yeah, so a solicitor can be added at any point during the proceedings. So if you're not able to add the solicitor on when the case is first created, or if the party is unrepresented at the time and they're later on represented in the proceedings, the solicitor can add themselves onto the proceedings by using the notice of change function. So that can be used at any point after the case is submitted. So solicitors can use that add themselves onto the case, either to represent a previously unrepresented party or to take over from a previous solicitor. The only thing solicitors can't do under notice of change is remove themselves from a case. So if you stop representing a client and the client is not represented, notify the court, and then the court will remove you from the record and also update your client as address for service. Good.
Thanks. And we're going to just show at the next video now.
When a solicitor is added to a case, the case will be referred to the case access manager, who will then assign that case to the respective fee earner. Once the case has been assigned to the fee earner, that case will appear in the case list as displayed here. You can access the case by clicking on the hyperlink on the case reference detail there, and that will open up in a new tab. If you wish to share the case with anyone else within your organization, you can do so by clicking on the left-hand side and selecting Share Case. Type in the name of the individual within the organization you wish to add to share the case with, select Add and Continue, and that case will be shared within the organization. If you receive notification of a case that you are instructed on but are not able to access the case because you have not been added correctly, you are able to onboard yourself to the case using notice of change. So you can add yourself to the case, you'll be able to view the case that way. To do this, select Notice of Change in the top left-hand side corner. Enter the 16-digit reference number. Make sure that the 16-digit reference number is for the financial remedy proceedings and not the divorce proceedings. Enter the case number, select Continue. You then be asked some questions there. So you have to enter the divorce dissolution case reference number. So this can be either the 10-digit alphanumeric case number, or if it's a new divorce case, then this will be the 16-digit divorce case number. So enter the case number in there. And then enter the client's name. So enter the first name and last name. Make sure that the spelling is correct. If there's any spelling errors, or the name doesn't match what's held on the court record, you will receive a notification like that, just highlighting that the details don't match what's on the case. So make sure that it's typed in correctly. Select Continue. Once your details have been accepted, it will replay that information back to you, then be asked to sign whether you're satisfied with the information that's been provided and also that the notice of change has been served on all parties. Tick both boxes and click Submit. Once you've done that, you will receive a notification saying that the notice of change has been successful. Once the notice of change has been accepted, you'll be able to access the case instantly. So at the bottom there's an option to view the case, or if you wish to return back to your case list, you can do so. But if you wish to start working on the case, you can click on that option there. And that will take you into the case. You'll be able to view the case documents in there. So you can see the case documents and any other orders on the case, you can view them there. Once you're in that case, you'll be able to upload any documents to the case. So if you wish to upload your documents, you would select on the Next Steps drop-down, select Upload Case Files, click on that. Select Add New Documents to commence uploading your documents. Select Choose File. This will take you into your folder, your documents. Select the relevant documents from your device that you wish to upload. Select the specific document type. If the document type you're uploading is not listed on the list there, select Other, and then type in the specific document type. Otherwise, select the options from the list displayed there. Enter the hearing date that those documents relate to. If the documents contains any confidential information or addresses that should not be disclosed to the other party, select yes to that question there. But if the documents are okay to be shared with the other party, select no. If the documents still contain confidential information and you select yes, When you come to share the documents, if they are confidential, you won't be able to share them with the other side. All documents uploaded are not instantly viewable by the other party. So if you have not exchanged documents, you can still upload them to the portal. And then once those documents have been exchanged, you will then be able to share them with the other side, which we'll go through very shortly. You then also asked with the documents related to any financial dispute resolution hearings. Yes or no. Again, if you select yes, they'll be stored in the financial dispute resolution documents tab. If you select no, you then have the option to say whether the documents should be uploaded into the applicant or respondent tabs. Please select only the applicant or respondent respectively. There's an option there for case documents, but please use the applicant or respondent so the documents go into the correct tabs. So if I select respondent in this case, and those documents are ready to be uploaded, you can use this event to upload multiple documents. There's no limitation on how many documents you can upload with the one event. And again, one of the main advantages of the portal over sending documents in by email is the size limitation is much higher, so you don't have to send separate documents, separate correspondences with documents attached. You can use the one event to upload as many documents as you need. Once you've uploaded all the documents you require, click continue. It'll just play back the documents you've uploaded, so you can double check there, make sure you've had the correct hearing dates or the correct document type. If you need to change any of those information at that stage, you can do so by clicking the change option there. Otherwise, click submit. Once you've submitted, those documents will now appear in the respondent documents. As I said before, once you've exchanged documents with the other side and you wish to now share those documents that are on the portal with the other side, you'd select from the drop-down list, share documents with the applicant, select go. You then just be asked if you're sure you want to share the documents, say yes, continue, and submit. Once you do that, all documents that are in your tab will be shared with the other side. Any documents marked as confidential will not be shared with the other side. If you've uploaded a document and you've marked it as confidential and it doesn't need to, you can contact your local FRC who are able to change those document types for you, and then they can then be shared with the other side. The solicitor is also able to upload copies of the bundle, so you can do that by selecting Manage Hearing Bundles. Click Go, select Add New, enter the hearing date. You'll be asked if the hearing relates to financial dispute resolution. Select yes or no. Again, this just highlights when the bundles are uploaded that it relates to a financial dispute resolution. Once you've entered the relevant date there, select Add New to upload your bundle. Click on Choose File to access your documents. Select the relevant bundle from your computer. There's an option that add a description if you wish to, but this is optional. So you can add hearing type if necessary. Click Continue and Submit. The bundle will now be showed in a hearing bundle tab. So if we go in there, we can see that the bundle is being displayed there. And that can be viewed by all parties as soon as it's lodged to the portal. If you wish to update the bundle, you can do so again by selecting Manage Hearing Bundles. This will show the information you've already entered. If you have an updated bundle, again, you select Choose File. You can replace the existing bundle with your new updated bundle. Continue, submit. If a bundle has been uploaded to the wrong case or it's the wrong bundle, solicitors now have the ability to remove bundles from the case. Again, only the party who's uploaded the bundle is able to remove the bundle. For example, the respondent solicitor is not able to remove a bundle that's been uploaded by the applicant and vice versa. So again, select Manage Hearing Bundles, click Go. It'll display the bundle that's existing there, select Remove, and the bundle's been removed, so continue and submit. And then if we go back into the hearing bundle tab, we can see that that bundle has been removed from the case. So this just adds an extra layer of security for any confidential documents that might be lodged. Solicitors are also able to create general applications if they wish to make any applications to the court within proceedings, if they wish to adjourn hearings or request an extension of time, or have any consent orders that do not relate to the conclusion of the case. You can use the general application process. You can select create general application. And if there are any existing general applications on the case, they'll be displayed there. So don't make any updates to the bundles display to the general application displayed there. Instead, click add new. And then you'll be taken to a fresh tab there where you can enter your details. So select who you are in relation to the case, whether the application is requiring a hearing. If you select yes, you'll be required to enter the time estimate or any special measures required in the case. If not, select no, and then upload copies of your D11 and a copy of your consent order. And if you have any other supporting documents, you can also upload them there. So select add new under upload supporting documents, choose file, attach the document, click continue and submit. The general application will then be lodged with the court. The court will refer that application to the judge, who will then give their directions on that. If you wish to make a consent order, this is also available, but the ability to lodge a consent order is only available to the applicant solicitor. Respondent solicitors do not have the facility to lodge consent orders in contested proceedings.
Okay, so we are now going to go straight to the last video, if that's okay, Aaron, and then we'll finish off with questions after that. Thank you.
If the parties reach an agreement and they're happy for the proceedings to be finalized, they can lodge a consent order to be signed off by the judge. This can be upload to the portal at any point in the proceedings. So to do this, select from the next steps drop down, select the consent order option. This option is only available to the applicant solicitors. Respondent solicitors are not able to file a consent order on the portal. This will have to be done by the applicant solicitors. So select consent order from the portal, click go. We currently do not have an option for clean break, so you can select any option from the drop-down list there. It won't affect the finalized consent order. Upload a copy of your consent order. Click continue. And then upload copies of your D81. If you're uploading a joint D81, select yes, and you can upload a single copy. If you're uploading separate D81s, you can then select no, and then upload a copy for each individual party. So if we select one copy there, joint copy for both parties, click continue. If you have any other documents that you wish to lodge, you can upload them at this point. So any supporting documents. Any pension documents can also be lodged at that point. Click continue. You'll be displayed information there about which court you've been assigned to. So you have details of contact details there for that court. Click continue. And then the final page there will just display your responses, information you've entered back to you. So check that carefully before you continue. If you're happy with all the information displayed there, click submit to finalize your application. That application will then be referred to the judge. Once the judge has approved the application, you'll be sent notification notifying you that the application has been approved. If the judge does not approve the application, you'll be sent an order, a general order highlighting why and then you can make the necessary amendments. Once the amendments have been made, you will have an option to respond to consent order, or if you click on the consent order option again, it'll take you through the existing application, and then you can make any necessary changes as directed by the judge at that point. So if you need to upload new D81s or amended consent orders, you can do so, and then finalize the application as you would have done previously. The new application will then be referred to the judge for their consideration. And again, once the judge approves that application, you'll be sent the approved notification, which you can access from the portal.
Okay, so we're going to take some questions now from you guys. Really quick and easy one. Someone's asked, what is the file size limit to what can be uploaded, please?
The size limit is 350 megabytes, I believe. So yeah, this is much larger size than what you normally have when emailing the calls.
That's lovely, thank you. Someone else has asked if another lawyer or paralegal or PA, for example, can be added, can work on a file and can access the case on the portal.
They can, yeah. So solicitors are able to share their case. Once they have access to the case, they can share the case with other parties or other people within their organization. So, for example, they could share that case with their PA, who's then able to carry out the relevant action on that case by going into their case list, clicking on the relevant case, then selecting share. They can share that case with others within their organization.
Thanks, Mark. Someone's asked if there are plans to combine the case and admin websites onto one platform. They mentioned that they have to generate 2 access codes to log in once, and it can take a little while. So just wondered if that's going to be dealt with.
On this one, I think it's possibly more a question for the MyHMCTS team, which we can obviously take forward, but it's not something specific to our FRCCD as I understand it. So if I'm guessing it's to do with the administration of the MyHMCTS within a firm, so it'll be the case access administrator, I think, but if they want to reach out to us separately, we can definitely forward that on to the right team to look at if they're looking to resolve that already.
Lovely. Someone's asked if it's individual barristers that register or a whole chambers.
It can be both. So yeah, they just need to register either a single barrister or via a chambers. Both is possible.
Great. One on the application. So someone said that in the past they could have started a Form A application before the divorce had begun. Is this still possible?
No, so you need the divorce details in order to lodge the Form A application. So you're not able to lodge the Form A application without the divorce details.
Thank you, Mark. And also another one for you. Someone's asked why the date of separation is now optional.
So I think that's always been optional on the portal. It's optional because we can't make it mandatory because it's not always either required or parties don't always remember that. So we had to make it optional to enable applications to be able to proceed if that information wasn't available.
Lovely. There's another question. This is on payment by account, I think. Someone's asked, where do you insert payment by account no for fee to be taken?
So in the video we shown there, we didn't show that part of it because obviously we don't have the PB account to be able to display that. But within the application process itself, when you submit, a new screen will come up asking you to enter your details. It's fairly straightforward and quite explicit in what it requires from you. But it'll just be an additional screen which I didn't have access to.
Thank you, Mark. So we've had a couple of people comment that when they have some cases where the share a case option has been greyed out, and they've reported it and been told it's a known issue. So do we have any more information on that in terms of when it might be resolved, etc.?
We can't give a time estimate at the moment, but it is something that our team, tech team, are looking into at the moment. So hopefully it should be resolved within the next few weeks, but maybe hopefully sooner. But it's something that's being looked at the moment.
Thank you. Someone has asked if you can upload a consent order if you've not issued proceedings.
Is this referring to the respondent? If it's the respondent, at the moment they can't lodge the consent order. That's part of the process that we're looking at, updating how that part of the process works. But at the moment, the respondent is not able to lodge the consent order to finalize the proceedings. Only the applicant is able to do that. It doesn't have to be the same applicant solicitor that lodged the initial application, as long as they're on the record as representing the applicant, can lodge the consent order.
Thanks. So someone's asked, what are confidential documents? Is it a notice without application, for example, or an injunction? So maybe you could kind of give a few examples, please.
I mean, it will differ from case to case, but if it's, you know, if it contains an address that you wouldn't want to be disclosed, essentially, as well as without notice, application, or injunction, and it would be a matter of uploading those as a document and selecting that it's confidential, and then that wouldn't be able to be shared with the other party. It would just be in a confidential documents tab that is only accessible to admin and judiciary, and it wouldn't be accessible to the solicitor at that point. Yeah, I hope that's answered the question.
If that person needs a bit more information, feel free to drop us a line and we can help afterwards as well. Somebody's asked, how do you submit a consent order to vacate or adjourn a hearing to deal with an interim issue?
So you would use the general application process for that. So any interim applications or any applications within proceedings, you can use the general application process to issue those on the portal.
And just to add to that, we have kind of elaborated in some recent guidance about what applications should be, you know, when a general application should be used for that type of thing, so that it triggers the kind of quick response, and because correspondence doesn't trigger notifications within the system. So, you know, it's a matter of, if you make a general application, the staff will be monitoring those and it can be referred to a judge straight away. And obviously the whatever fee was due would be able to be taken depending on the type of application. So yeah.
Thanks,
we'll
Jess.
point towards that guidance with the follow-up information from this session as well.
Let's see. Someone's kind of made a comment, has asked a question around the present system doesn't allow 2 or more applications to be submitted while one is still open, which can then cause a delay in the case. Is there any plans to change this?
Is this referring to applications within the proceedings, i.e. D11s? If so, then yes, you can issue multiple applications. So it's a function that was introduced last year. So you can issue multiple applications on the case, and they can both be dealt with either at the same time or separately.
Somebody's asked if a respondent solicitor can submit a consent order if the applicant is a litigant in person.
No, they can't, but they can email the consent order to the court, and the court can then upload that to the portal on their behalf.
Brilliant. Another one around consent orders. Can you upload a consent order if you've not issued proceedings?
I think we may have had this one already, but yeah, if it's the applicant, then the applicant can acknowledge the consent order, but not the respondent.
Okay, lots around consent orders. Another one for us. Why does uploading the consent order function require a D81 to also be added? Is Form E not sufficient at that stage?
Not sure on that one. Is it to do with the financial remedy contested service? It might be that we go back on that question a little bit later.
That's fine.
Because I'm just not clear, because usually you do have to file the D81. It's part of the family rule procedure rules, but it might be that we've misunderstood.
Okay, we'll come back to that. And if the person who has asked that question responds to me when I send the links out after this session, I'll be more than happy to make sure that we get the right answer for you. So it's quite a lengthy question, but bear with me. What do we do if you're just lodging a clean break order? If you lodge an order by consent, you have to say if the case concerns a lump sum, pensions, etc. A clean break involves none of those, but you have to tick a box in order to proceed in non-contested cases. Can anyone comment on that?
I think we do have an action in our tech work to facilitate a clean break step at that point. So it is something that will be coming. But yes, at the moment, you do have to tick a box to proceed. So it won't be like that forever.
Thanks, Jess. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. How does an advisor come off the record if their client has chosen to represent themselves?
They would need to file a notice of change with the court, so the court could remove the access for them or apply depending on the circumstances of the case, so that the judge could approve that as well.
Thank you. I'm afraid we are still getting some questions and queries about notice of change and how it's working. So I know you guys have covered it a little bit, but is it just worth reiterating the position at the moment, and what if anything you need attendees to do?
I think it's a concern. I think that we're getting quite a lot of messages about notice of change not working, you know, when you use the portal to do that change of representation. So I think if we could have specific examples, and then we can, because we have raised it with our technical teams before, and it appears that it is working, but obviously from the flurry of messages that we've got now, there seems to be a problem. So I think we need to do more testing of that, but it would be really beneficial to us if we could have some specific examples and the actual screen that you saw when it showed an error. And that will help us. We will report this to our technical teams, but I think we do need that information as well.
Thanks,
it does feel like this isn't, or a successful one. Anybody who's done one successfully, and then that sort of gets rid of the myth that there's something wrong, that would be helpful too.
Brilliant. Thanks, Izzy.
Just to add on that point as well, if anyone having issues with notice of change, email us at HMCTS Financial Remedy. I think a few emails that have gone to the MyHMCTS support. So any issues with notice of change, please come to our team, and then we can get those resolved for you.
Thanks, Mark. Just mindful of time, I've got about 5 minutes more for questions. There's a really good one here. This person has said that when they upload a Form E, it doesn't always give the option to share with the other side, and could we maybe explore why that is the case?
Yes, so I think the reason for that is the share option was limited to certain states. So that's something we're looking to change. So that's available in all states, but that would be the reason why that's not always available to you. It's linked to the state of the case is in.
Excellent. Right. The other thing that we've definitely still getting a few comments on is around barristers and making sure they've got access. So I know we've got the video, and we'll share that. but any just kind of quick run through of how barristers get access, or if solicitors need to do anything to support the barristers to access the service, just as part of our roundup, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, so long as I said, the barrister needs to register with MyHMCTS so that they can actually gain access to the portal. But it's on the solicitor to just add that access by searching for them within the journeys shown on the video, and then that should invite them to click a link and join the case. If I think it might be worth as while sharing the register email address and details for MyHMCTS with the information that we send out on this call, just so that people have the links to that initial service on how to set up, and we can do that, no problem.
Brilliant, thank you. There's a question here around cases on the portal. When do cases get deleted from the portal, and is it when they're completed, or is there a period of time that they stay on the portal for before they're deleted? What's our policy there?
We have the record and retention schedules across the court that we will adhere to, but I think at the moment we're not approaching those timescales for the deletion of files, with it being financial information and things. So it is something that's been looked at across HMCTS for making sure that we're adhering to that those schedules. But yeah, at the moment they're not immediately deleted from the portal when they've completed.
Okay, that's really helpful, thank you. Somebody's asked, how do they go about submitting general correspondence to the court?
You would usually I mean, you can upload if it's general correspondence that you're wanting responses to, as in it's something that needs actioned that isn't a general application at the court, that would need to be emailed to the court. But anything that you are just wanting to go on file and you're not needing a response, that's where it needs to be managed within CCD, and that's where the kind of mandation comes into play, that you've got to file everything on the portal that you need to when you're filing documents with the court. It's only if you need a specific action to be taken, not just to add something to a file, but as that would be for the solicitor to do directly. But yeah, anything outside of a general application would be email, but we'd expect most would be done through the portal.
Thanks, Jess. Now we have run through the big majority of questions, so just at this point, as we get to the end of the session, just to let you guys know that I have posted a link to a survey, and we'd really welcome your feedback on this session. We hope you've found it useful and informative. I'm going to answer a couple more questions before we wrap up. Somebody has asked for the email address where we submit examples to. I think that's going to have been added to the chat, so please do share those with us so that we can help you and follow up. Let's see. Someone's asked, how do we get the long case number to add to their details, I guess, to the application once the order is issued, as they only get the actual court case number?
If the case is issued on CCD, so if it's a portal case, you should be provided with the 16-digit case number. So you won't have the short form case number being produced on cases produced on CCD anymore. You would have done previously. The form C, for example, and the form A would have had the old style divorce case number, but they should now be producing the long form 16-digit case number on all cases.
Brilliant.
If you log on to CCD, you'll be able to see the long form digit case number at the very top quite clearly.
Thanks, Mark. I'm going to do one more question and then we're going to wrap up, if that's okay. So someone's asked, when they have an amended document that needs to be uploaded after the original document has already been submitted, how do they upload that amended version?
If this is just a document, for example, if you wish to upload an amended Form E, you would upload the document in exactly the same way you uploaded the previous document. If you need the previous document to be removed from the case, notify your local financial remedy court and they can remove that document for you. But in terms of actually uploading the document, it works exactly the same way as you would have done previously by using the upload case files event.
Thanks, Mark. So I think that's we've answered the majority of questions. There's clearly some themes that have emerged around notice of change and making sure barristers know how to access service. The email address for the team has been posted in the chat, but there will be an email that goes out to everyone who's attended today that will link to the YouTube video, will include the mailbox address and links to guidance, etc. So you'll have everything that's been shown today. Please do fill in our survey. It really helps us to improve our events. But I think we'll wrap up there and say thank you very, very much for giving up your lunch break to join us. Thank you.